another debutant, one that did impress was Omar Marmoush. He looks a really exciting player, doesn't he? I think I really liked his runs in behind, his energy, his trickery, his willingness to take set pieces as well. And so, how impressed were you with Marmoush on his debut?
Hugely impressed. Look, it wasn't a spectacular debut, but it was one of spectacular promise, I would argue. Some players you see they sort of suit a level, and obviously the Bundesliga is an incredibly high level. But when you come to any new country, it's always going to be difficult to adapt straight away, and especially with the demands that are on Manchester City, and especially given where City are right now. It has been a tumultuous season for City with lots of expectation. That comes with playing for a club of that size. And I think Marmoush, I honestly believe, his impact, the way that he plays, forced City to sort of change their setup a little bit. Guardiola also changed it due to lack of control, but he just really suited this City side. He really did. Like his runs in behind, he's electric. That guy has a real hunger, hunger for goals and hunger to impact the game, and he works back as well. So I was a little bit worried initially of him just playing purely as a left winger because, look, I spoke to a few people prior who watch the Bundesliga more than I do, and they said, prior to being converted into a striker at Frankfurt, he wasn't really that much of a success because teams like St. Pauli or Wolfsburg, they put him out wide thinking he'd just be a new Salah, if that makes sense. He'll hug the touchline, drift inside occasionally, but, he'll play as a left winger, so to speak. Didn't really suit him. He's better when he's close to the striker, and in this case, Haaland. And Guardiola clearly let him do that, even though he's normally out wide on the left. And I couldn't be more excited about what he's going to do at City. He has the touch, he has the pace, he has the self confidence. He can clearly strike a ball as well. He can clearly got good movement. Offside a couple of times, but that's probably just over eagerness, if we're being honest. And he gives a new outlet for Manchester City. Like I think the story of the game for me was Guardiola deciding just to put, we usually have two sort of holding. It was a combination of usually Kovacic, Gundo, or Bernardo. Two of those three with De Bruyne sort of ahead of them. And that fullbacks push up, meaning there was usually just four defenders back trying to cover. Where Guardiola decided, against Chelsea, you know what, Bernardo, Kovacic, Silva, you're all staying back. But as a result of that, he just gave free reign for Nunes and Vardiel to get really far forward, which also then gave reign for Marmoush and Foden on the other side just to tuck in there Haaland. And it just worked so well for City. And Marmoush, because he has that particular set of traits, I don't think Savino Doku could do that sort of inverted role. They're very different players. They want to be wide beating the man. I think it allowed Guardiola to try that. So Marmoush is going to bring goals. You can tell already. He doesn't lack self confidence. He has the right touch, the right work rate, and he looks set to be a star. So yeah, a really exciting debut. I'd be amazed if he doesn't score in his first few games because he has a hunger for goals already.
Yeah, he looks a really exciting player, Mamouche. And we sort of impressed as well with the way that sort of Guardiola looked to go long as well. His
Yeah.
City team looked to go long. It's just a lot of, City known for a lot of intricate passes in around the box, and sometimes that can be frustrating for City fans to watch when it comes to nothing. But this is just another outlet for City to put it long for Haaland to hold it up. I think Haaland in particular in the second half looked quite a threat holding it up and really linking up with his play as well. So that's probably another route that City can maybe use more, not just in that Chelsea game, but more and with Mamouche maybe running in behind as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some football can be quite simple. If you've got a big guy and fast guys around him, just hit it to him. And I think Guardiola said as well, City, if we're not the best in the middle these days. We haven't got the physicality, we haven't got the height, we haven't got the legs, so we're not going to win many duels in the middle. So sometimes you can bypass that midfield and just go straight to your big guys up front, and you've got, Josko Vardiol or Nunes running in behind, which we've seen, to great effect in that game, and Marmoush willing to run off Haaland too. If you've got the runners, which we haven't had much of recently, then why not? Haaland's link-up play was brilliant. Very Drogba-esque performance, actually, which probably gave Chelsea fans very Costa Drogba-esque, which probably not what they want to see, but it was a very uncanny impression of them. And it worked perfectly. I'm not against it. I think Guardiola has form as well for going a bit more direct. I don't think people realize how traditional Guardiola can be at sometimes. As much as he's very much, tactical master and all this kind of stuff, he's very happy to sit and defend in a 4-4-2 and sometimes go direct, to a striker if needs be. Because when you've got that skill set that Edison's, can ping a ball 80 yards straight to your striker, or you've got people who want to run in behind and then teams want to press high to you. Because everyone presses man to man these days, by the way. No one sits back as much. They just press man to man because they know City are a little bit weaker physically. then why not use it? I think great managers are also pragmatic managers. I wouldn't say it necessarily goes against his principles because still City still dominated possession, but it's not what you'd associate with Guardiola typically. But at the same time, I've seen it before, and I don't think he's afraid to do it. And I think there's an argument to suggest right now, while we haven't got, the physicality in midfield, a little bit more direct, it probably isn't going to harm us.
Yeah, and the result overall, how pleased with the pleased that City got that win, bearing in mind the run of fixtures that are ahead for City.
Yeah, I don't think Chelsea were great, but you can sort of only beat what's in front of you. And Chelsea had quality, and they had ex-City players as well, on the pitch. Cole Palmer, I felt would be much more involved. He wasn't in the end. Sancho, there was potentially a narrative there. And they had the legs, in midfield with Caicedo and so on. Even Fernandez has got more legs than our midfield, and he's not the fastest guy in the world. I was really happy with it. I think it's a big result to put City in the top four. Mentally, that's a huge boost. And when you look below us, Newcastle, Chelsea, Bournemouth, and so on, Villa, it feels possible to stay above them. It's not going to be easy, but you know, Chelsea are a work in progress. Newcastle aren't fully consistent. They're a great side, but I feel like City can pick these sides to the top four, and that's our aim this season. Now we're not going to catch Liverpool, obviously. But we could slip out of the top four, so that has to be the aim for City, and that felt significant for me, especially given the fact that Guardiola tried something new. He played a couple of new debutants. They did give energy. The ground was loud. There was a enormous support for the new lads, and it felt like a much needed win because if you'd had all those factors where Guardiola tried something new, and we played the new guys and we still lost, it would have been deflating, especially given the run of fixtures we've got coming up. So I think City needed that win desperately, not because of where we've been, but because of where we're about to go with Bruges and Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Tottenham, it's Forest, Brighton, Leicester, then a derby. It's not a nice run of fixtures at all.